What's going on, Tech fans, man? So it's time to react. I don't know if y'all still care about this, but I do want to talk just a little bit about this with Eric Singleton Jr. I'm going to talk about the recent move, also what they landed in the transfer portal at DB. But Eric Singleton Jr. Officially has a top five per Hayes Fawcett of on 3, LSU, Ole Miss, Miami, Texas, and obviously Auburn. 4 of the 5 schools actually are SEC, so that is kind of a relief to a degree if you're Georgia Tech, right? Only one ACC school, Miami, but you won't play them for a long time. I think it's up into 2027. So that's obviously a bonus for you. You feel pretty good about that. It does suck losing a top-notch receiver like this. Obviously, they got a guy that's coming in from FIU that's expected to be in there as far as a visit. And I'm going to keep trying to help Jackson with that as far as just updating that, giving the latest on everything with the portal. But like I said, this is, again, major news. Top 5 here makes a lot of sense. Like, I think Auburn, and I want to say this real quick, Auburn makes a lot of sense to me because, remember, guys, Kenyatta Watson was the former recruiting coordinator or the recruiting guy for Georgia Tech. They obviously have other people, too. They obviously have Tim McFarland. They have several people that helps with that. But he was very pivotal in just, bringing recruits in, getting them on campus, building those relationships with players. So that makes a lot of sense because, obviously he's with Tech. That's, he's one of the guys that kind of brought him in, the Eric Singleton Jr. So I'm sure he's kept that relationship pretty good over the years. And obviously that would be a good add to the offense. How he would fit in would be really intriguing. You got Malcolm Simmons, who's kind of your solid guy. He returns kicks and everything, does really good for you. Also have, obviously, Cam Coleman. But he would probably be maybe a slot guy or outer boundary guy for you. But he's a guy, you get the ball in his hands, he's dangerous, man. So Auburn, to me, would make a lot of sense. I also like him in that Texas offense. Another weapon for Arch Manning. Lord, that would be something different. That would be something special next year, potentially for the Longhorns, man. That's how elite this guy is. I mean, he's going to be instant plug and play. LSU, that would be also a good option. The reason why I say LSU, when you look at what Garrett Nussmeier is coming back another year, what have we been talking about? Getting Mason Taylor involved. If he is able to come back, he doesn't hit the NFL draft. But they need a guy in the short intermediate. Now, Eric Singleton Jr. can be the kind of long-range guy where he can get be a deep ball threat, right? He can take the top off of defense, but he also can take short routes and take them the distance as well. So I think that's why those make sense to me. So those would be my 3 that makes the most sense as far as fit-wise for Eric Singleton Jr. But Auburn is a team I would say early on right now that I think I could see him going to. All right, other Tech news. They landed Kelvin Hill Jr. I got a chance to see him when he was younger. I was actually just getting started into the industry. And he played for hometown Carrollton Trojans, who's actually going to play for a state championship this upcoming week. A really good fit, I think, for Tech. It'd be interesting to see what role he's able to carve out for them. But obviously, this is a guy they really liked. And that's kind of the theme right now going on with Tech. Now, we talked about Malachi Hosley, and he wanted Tech fans to go support and show him love after he visited Tech in the flats. But it seems like the theme right now with Tech is bringing kids that played here in Georgia, bringing them back home, and getting it done with Tech and just helping that program. They've already been rising, but helping that program get to that elite level. And this is another kid. Started off with UAB. His recruiting wasn't very high out of high school. I always appreciated him. I thought he was one of the better Carrollton defenders, right? One of those guys at the corner spot that made big plays, made turnovers, made big-time tackles, but went to UAB, had some pretty good years there, had a pretty good year there, and then now he gets to come to a Power 4 program. Let's take a deeper look, though. All right, so here's the deeper look. So he's a true freshman this year, had 29 solo tackles, 5 passes defense. Jackson has also a great article on SI. I challenge you guys to check that out. All right, so this is a little bit in more detail via SI, via Jackson. So it says 42 tackles, obviously 29 solos, which we talked about. Had a PFF overall grade of 68.9 on defense. Not too bad. Most notable, again, this is what Coach Corey Peoples is looking for, the run defense grade. When we talked about, obviously, Daquan White, and I called him a very elite player, prospect, and I really think he is. He had, I think, a 78.2 or 78.3 grade, I think, potentially. But I think it was maybe in the 80s for his tackling grade. Or the run defense grade. It was very high. Now, look at this right here, y'all. Kelvin Hill Jr. earned an 87.1 run defense grade, and then he earned a 90.1 tackling grade for UAB last year. That is critical, right? And that's why I said this is what Coach Corey Peoples wants. He wants guys in his back end, one, that can defend multiple positions, or play multiple positions, I should say, whether it's outer boundary corner, slot corner, safety, or strong, whatever it is. He wants you to be able to rotate and move. And another component of what he wants is he wants you to be able to tackle at a high level. And if the running back so happens to get to that second level of defense, or he's bouncing into the outside and you have that contained on the edge, he wants you to be able to make the tackle. You know what I'm saying? So that is really what he's been looking for. And he's recruiting at a high level. Like I said in my last video, he deserves way more credit and praise for what he is doing, because this is an elite level job. And his secondary, I think, is going to be one of the best units that Georgia Tech has next year, including quarterback, running back, receiver, whatever you want to call it. This secondary for Tech is going to be elite next year. Recruited 2025 at an elite level, and now you obviously got the portal. He's hitting his portal at an elite level as well. But that is excellent. 90.1 tackling grade. Hey, that's top tier. Now, obviously, you're going to lose some guys. Obviously, Miles Brooks is gone. Tay Seymour hit the portal as well. And obviously, now it looks like Warren Burrell is out as well via Jackson of SI. I also work with them. But so you're losing 3 guys. Right, one hit the portal and Tay Seymour. Miles Brooks loses eligibility. I think Burrell loses eligibility as well. So it's going to be interesting because you have Amari Harvey, right? But then you're going to need that boundary corner to kind of go along with them. To me, it looks like Daquan White will be that guy, but I'm sure it'll be a competition. And obviously, the head coach, or the cornerbacks coach is going to decide, Corey Peoples, who's going to be that guy. But now you get the depth, you get guys that know how to play, and now it's just fitting into the scheme. What is the scheme fit for these guys? Can they get everything, the knowledge, the terms, all that good stuff? Can they get all that down? And they got plenty of time to do it, right? They're going to have the spring, they're going to have summer, and then all the way up into the fall. So I think these are some great picks, and you bring in a pretty elite class on the back end as well coming in. So there you go, guys. As you guys can see, and then he was a 3-star transfer, according to 247 Sports, with an 86 overall grade. So, like I said, man, heck of a job by Coach Corey Peoples in recruiting these guys, getting them on campus. And that the common theme is getting these guys that are from Atlanta or from Georgia to come back home and play for Georgia Tech, man, and put on for the city. So, yeah, y'all, that's my thoughts on former Georgia Tech wide receiver Eric Singleton Jr., who announced his top 5, where I think he lands, and also this next kid they brought in at the DB spot as far as the transfer portal. 2 transfer portal guys officially now for Georgia Tech have committed, locked in with the Yellow Jackets. They not done yet. They still got more targets they're going to get. Running back, you can expect. Linebackers, another position, and defensive line for sure. Quarterback, I doubt they get anybody. Receiver is another position they're going to probably also target as well, man. But keep it tuned. When I hear news and updates, I will have full reaction videos, and I also have articles out as well, man. Appreciate all the love, support. I'll see y'all soon.